The Ducati Monster has been around long enough to be considered a legend. In fact, it's arguably the most recognisable naked bike of all time. But this monster that you see before you is very different to monsters of the past. We've lost the iconic trellis frame. The engine characteristics are quite different. It's lighter, it's sharper, and it's loaded with technology. And some would call that progress, but some would call that sacrilege. So the question that I want to answer this launch is this a proper monster with true monster DNA, or is it just another naked bike in the segment, except this one's clinging on to its iconic name for relevance? That's what I'm hopefully going to try and find out on this launch and report back to you all. So if you're interested in that, keep watching. The 2026 Ducati Monster starts from £11,995 in the UK, with the Monster Plus from £12,295. There are currently two colour options available, Ducati Red and Iceberg White, with Iceberg White available at an additional £200. Power comes from Ducati's 890cc 90-degree V-twin Ducati V2 engine, producing 111 horsepower at 9,000 RPM and 91 Nm of torque at 7,250 RPM. It's paired to a 6-speed gearbox and you get Ducati's Quick Shift 2.0 up and down as standard. Ducati claim a wet weight, excluding fuel, of 175 kilograms, making this the lightest liquid-cooled monster they've ever produced. Seat height is 815mm as standard, with factory options that can bring that down to 795mm or even 775mm with the lowering kit. Suspension is a 43mm Showa upside down fork at the front, with a Showa monoshock at the rear with preload adjustment. Braking is premium spec with twin 320mm front discs, Brembo radially mounted calipers, and a 245mm rear disc. Electronics include 4 riding modes, 4 power modes, and a full suite of rider aids including corner and ABS, traction control, wheelie control, and engine brake control thanks to a 6-axis IMU. The dash is a 5-inch TFT display and lighting is full LEDs with DRLs. And Ducati have stretched the valve clearance intervals out to 45,000 kilometres. In the UK, finance offers are also available with 4.9% APR on hire purchase, or you could do Ducati's Accelerate PCP programme, designed around a 50% deposit and no monthly instalments for 2 years, after which you can part exchange, keep the bike and pay the optional final payment, or return it. Of course, return conditions apply. Right, without further ado, let's see how this little ripper rides. Okay, that was a nice little acceleration on the slick road to just give me a little taste of what's about to come. Ooh. Oh, that acceleration is quick and fast. Ho ho ho! Malaga! Hey hey hey! Right team, we are on the roads of Malaga. And I am on the Ducati Monster V2. Get in! Oh, do you know what? This might be a bit wax lyrical because I absolutely do love Ducatis. In fact, for those who don't know, I actually have one in my garage. And it's not a tarty sexy one, oh no. It's a 2002 Ducati 750S that I have taken the front end off and put a single headlight on it. Woo! Because I just love a dirty trellis frame and a single headlight. Now, even though I used to sell Ducatis for a period back in 2016, fun fact, the first bike I sold for Ducati was actually a Monster Plus. I
I think it was a 796 from memory. And for those of you who don't know what the Monster Plus is, as mentioned in my intro, it is basically just the same bike, but you get a little cowl, a little like screen cowl, and you get a little seat cowl as well that just clips over the seat and just makes it a bit more sporty looking. So I've actually ridden the Canary V2S, and that is the only Ducati that I've ridden with this engine. And I say that, it's not the exact same engine because the Panigale is pumping out a little bit more horsepower than this at 120 brake horsepower. This is 111. So before I start, I know you've seen me sat on this bike in the intro, but I just want to delve a little bit deeper into my measurements. So I'm a 5'4" human, last time I checked. That's 162 centimetres, and my inside leg measurement is 29 inches, or 73.66 centimetres if you prefer this metric. And honestly, it's a very accessible seat height, so accessible. Oh, I tell you what, right, I popped it in sport mode from the offset. It was in road, but I noticed on road it was in medium power. And to be honest, I just want to experience all 111 ponies giddying up. Even if the roads have been a bit wet here as of late, we do seem to have caught a dry moment. But it's in sport mode, and what I will say for like a middleweight, it's giving aggression. It's an aggressive thing, in my opinion. It barks. It's just goads you, to be honest. But also, like, when you get on a nice bit of road like this, it's also very smooth. It's got a nice audible roar to it when you just open it up. Oh, it's a very, very light bike, and it does change direction at the drop of a hat. Drop it down the box with that Ducati shift. Oh, look at this. Okay. Brakes. I've just put a bit of front on them because I accelerated up to these riders. Put the brakes on. The brakes are stonking. Very, very good hardware on this. We've got Brembo radially mounted calipers, but they're M4.32s. So they are a very good caliper. Whoa, look at the views, guys. Crikey. So it's sprightly, it's zippy, it's punchy, and it makes a royal howl, an absolute royal howl. That roar that you get is straight from the offset when you just crack the throttle open. Oh, squirrel! Oh no. Oh. Oh, oh, it's like a coil spring, this thing. When you keep it low in the gears. Oh! Flippity floppity, don't stop it. Oh, on the brakes. Oh, it's very, very sharp. That front brake, exceptional. Oh yes, that was a good test of the front brake. Go, maybe another real tight one. Another real tight one. Oh yes. Flip it round, flow it round, flow it round. Wow, wow, wow. Oh, okay. Let's go, baby. Oh, it flicks nice. It's got nice agile handling. We like that. Use all the road because why the hell not? So, I haven't ridden that many monsters. The only monster I can say I have ridden is the M1200S. I never rode an R. I always kind of wanted to, but I never had the opportunity to. But the S was crazy, and that was like my first impression of what a monster is. Ruckus, wild, just barky. A nuisance. Like, you felt like an absolute hooligan, or at least I did on that bike. Now I have to say, I did almost shed a tear when I was filtering through motorway standstill traffic on that Monster 1200S, because the clutch was rather heavy and I could never find neutral with it, and yeah, my hand was like crispy by the end of the commute. But the clutch isn't as light as I thought it would be on this, but it's also not heavy. So there is that. And also with a quick shifter and blipper, you don't have to use it all that much unless you're stopping and starting. But yeah, back in the day, back in 2016, around that era I want to say. But yeah, the Monster 1200S. I've always quite fancied the 1100 Evos, always fancied them. And my dad at one point in his life had an S4R, which was crazy. Dry clutch, ruckus, mental. But no, it is interesting to see how things do progress over time, because, you know, now we've got more bikes in the range like the Street Fighter, which gives this bike a little bit of a run for its money, because they're both in the same lineup, or Ducati lineup, and yeah, you've got a little bit more power out of the Street Fighter. The Street Fighter's a little bit more focused, a little bit more track ready. But with the Monster, you've got the heritage behind it, you've got the Monster appeal, the Monster look, and a little less power as well, a little less power, because the Street Fighter has the same power as the Panigale. One thing that I was trying to feel today is engine heat. It's been on my conscious radar to see if I can see if it's a hot engine, and thus far it's not anywhere near as hot as a Panigale V2S in my opinion. But we have been kind of riding the Monster in cooler temperatures, but I'm not noticing heat on my leg when I put my leg down, and that's a good sign. Dominica rides. Why is she so cute? Do you know what? I am actually really bonding with this bike so far, but what I would like is, I'd love to have it in the UK and really get to dig deep and delve into these settings and just have a play around and you know, see how things impact the bike. So the riding position, it's fairly neutral. I'd probably say it's a little bit more on the sporty side of neutral, because we're not super upright, but we're absolutely not leant forward at all. We're just a little bit sporty, a little bit. The pegs, I like to rest the balls with my feet on the pegs, and by doing so, they are a little bit higher up than I was expecting. But that's quite nice, because it means when I do put my feet down, I don't have a peg in the way, like stabbing me and bruising my calf, which happens a surprising amount actually with bikes in general. So we're just going through towns like this, and yeah, road mode, riding mannerisms, really, really nice. But honestly, the acceleration, whew, when it's in sport mode, so urgent and so ruckus, and that twin, oh, it sounds amazing. 70% of the torque is available at 3000 RPM, and 80% is available something like 4000 through to 9000 or something. Tank range, 14 litres we've got, and that's 1 litre less than on the Panigale V2S. Now, the Panigale V2S, as mentioned a lot, has a little bit more power, But I actually toured Belgium on a Panigale V2S. Absolutely love the experience. And because I had a 15-litre tank and I did a lot of touring, I could get 150 miles out of that tank, and I had it where I absolutely pushed the tank to its limits and got 170 miles out of it. And that was a mixture of motorway and twisties and a bit of everything, to be frank. So if this is 14 litres and has a little less power, I would probably expect something similar. I honestly didn't think that the switchgear would be that nice because, you know, there's a lot going on. But when I've been playing around trying to select my modes and stuff like that, it has actually been more intuitive than I first thought it would be. Well guys, as you can quite clearly see, it's a different day. We're on day 2. So you will have seen, hopefully, a little bit of dry footage. That's because the weather forecast for Spain has been diabolical this week. And honestly, the guys at Ducati have just been like, we need to get these guys out where we can and just make the most of the dryness. So we went out mainly with the aim to get, you know, the tracking footage and the fancy social media stuff. But ultimately, it is quite nice to ride a bike in the rain and kind of test it out and see what it would be like in the UK. Because let's be real, it's 90% rain in the UK all year. But I thought it was important to show some wet riding footage. I'm riding in road mode. We've got a wet mode, but so far, you know, as long as you're kind of nice and smooth on the throttle, then it's all good. We do have more sporty orientated rubber, which makes me gulp a little bit. I'd probably feel a bit more confident if we had the likes of some Michelin Road 6s on, but we don't, so we move. Oh, look at this road though. Oh, can you imagine this in the dry? Can you honestly imagine this in the dry? Oh wow. Like with anything, when the weather conditions are like this, you've just got to be silky smooth in everything you do, whether that's accelerating, braking, leaning. You've just got to be as predictable as possible. I have to say, the heated grips right now are actually wonderful. Oh, look at this road! What the heck? Oh, the rain's coming down a bit heavier now. But I'm in my boiler bag suit, so hopefully that should be helpful. Oh, we tested the limits of third gear there up that steep gradient, that steep incline. It was chugging a bit, it was fighting, but it was fine, it did it. So I just popped it, press the button, we'll go up. Oh, we don't want sport, we want wet. So we found wet, we press the middle button, and it selected it for us. If you're going into like sport mode, or I think maybe even road mode, when you change it, and it might just be sport actually, I'd have to double check that, but I ain't checking it now because I'll keep it in this mode. But it says close the throttle, so you just, if you're doing it on the fly and you're accelerating, you've got to just shut off temporarily. How is it that I'm wearing a bin bag, yet I feel water getting in places water shouldn't get? Suspension so far, non-adjustable, but I'm feeling really good about it for my weight. Oh, bump. I don't want to do a chops here too soon. Sorry, chops. I think lamb chops became lamb cutlets. Wow, look at all the water. That's wild. Okay, so it's opened up into actually some more faster flowing stuff. And we're in rain, so we're feeling a bit better about our life choices. Or wet, should I say, wet mode, wet mode. Wet mode for the wetness. Little overtake. Oh, we love a wet mode. Yes! hate tarmac worms. I hate them with a bloody passion. A passion in my soul. They're just not great. They don't feel great. Oh, my fingers are freezing. Palms, lovely. Fingertips, freezing. I'm just focusing on being smooth as a silkworm's fart. Well, it's a good testament to rain mode. Rain mode is keeping me on the straight and narrow, I think, because I feel like if I had all ponies released, I wouldn't be able to be as smooth. I'd feel a bit sick in the mouth. Whereas, this is alright. Oh, these roads are amazing! Oh, that down blipper, fantastic. Oh, rain mode is helping me feel pretty good. It's helping me feel smooth, it's helping me feel confident. Yes, literally loving this. This is just feeling really nice. Well guys, I think I've kind of added to the conversation all I can really add to a conversation on a day like this. Really grateful that we managed to get out yesterday, that Ducati had the thoughts to say get these guys out in the dry even if they've literally just hopped off a plane. So yeah, that was a good shout on Ducati's part, but because the weather is honking, like I say, I'm not quite sure what more I can add to this review. So yeah, I'll catch you at my pros, cons and outro. Right everybody, well I am back in from riding Ducati's Monster, and as you can see right now the weather is less than ideal. We did get caught out in some pretty biblical rain today, and consequently now it's become a full-blown tropical storm and I'm scared that my camera's going to get blown over. But let's not have that detract from the Monster and everything that I've experienced over the 2 days riding this bike. It is fiercely fun. It's raucous, it's rambunctious, it goads you to be naughty, it sounds great, you just wind on the throttle and it goes rah, rah, and it just eggs you on in a really, really naughty way. And it's so sporty, so fun, so sprightly, and yeah, I just think it's got a bit of a bad attitude, which I really, really like. So the bikes we've ridden today have had two very handy optional extras. We've had the cruise control fitted, which was great on the motorway. Tried that, pretty simple to use, quite intuitive. And the heated grips, oh, it's been really, really cold and I feel like my hands would have frozen without them. So they've been great additions. One of the things about this bike is it's definitely less aggressive looking than the Street Fighter. And of course it's got a less aggressive price tag as well, but with this you do have non-adjustable front forks, and with the Street Fighter and Street Fighter S you have varying degrees of component quality when it does come to the full adjustability of those forks and suspension. But yeah, we still have a shock that's obviously preload adjustable, as most things are, but yes, the suspension non-adjustable. Sorry if there's lots of jump cuts. I am battling between rain, wind noise and plane noise because we are in a direct flight path here. I did wonder if they were going to bring an SP model out, and it was asked in the presentation, but because Ducati have that Street Fighter model now, they aren't looking to bring out an SP. So if you were thinking I'll wait for the Monster SP because I can get adjustable suspension, that might not be the case for you. I mean, they hold their cards close to the chest, but it's not sounding like an SP is on the way, so that's definitely something to consider if you're a heavier rider. Obviously for me, being my weight, the suspension's been wonderful, and it's given me everything I've asked of it. I've not thought it's too soft, it's too hard, it's just road mint. And yeah, if you are heavier, maybe test ride it to see what you think of that suspension, to see if it's enough for you, but it's certainly enough for me. Now this is the lightest
4-valve Monster. And in the presentation we said, well, what do you mean by that? And they said, well, they had the Monster 600, which is about 2 kilograms lighter than this. But when you think about this bike in the future, like, well, the present day, should I say, where we've got water cooling, so you've got all that weight, you've got the radiator weight, you've got the weight of the 2 calipers instead of the 1, the weight of the 2 brake discs instead of the 1, you've got the weight of all the electronics to give you the full suite, which is all done in-house by Ducati, by the way. They don't kind of, you know, have this Bosch cornering ABS, they don't have this something, it's all done in-house. Now, speaking on the electronics of this bike, you've got full customization. So even though you have the sport mode, the road mode, the rain mode, I need a freaking rain mode right now for me, you can individually customize all of the modes. So there's different power modes associated with different riding modes. So if you're in sport, you've got full power. I've been riding in wet today, funnily enough, and it puts it in the lower power mode, so it reduces it to 95 brake horsepower, and it gives you wonderful traction control and ABS associated with riding in the wet weather. You don't want anything too aggressive, and honestly it's babied me through the day in the sense that I haven't felt the intervention at all, only actually over a few squiggly tarmac worms, which haven't been great. There was a lot of them, but it's just, it works behind the scenes, but you can feel that it's got you back in how much throttle it gives you and stuff like that. So yeah, riding this in rain mode has actually been very insightful. Even on really sporty rubber, I was a bit nervous, but it's had my back, so that's been very, very good. As always, I'm going to pop my pros and my cons on the screen now, so you guys can have a look at that. I know that when I was riding, I said I didn't feel the engine heat on the dry day. However, we did ride back and take a coastal route at night, which was actually really lovely, in the dark, and you're going slower, so I did feel a bit of engine heat then. But in these temperatures, conditions, it was actually quite welcome. Yeah, it was like a little bit of warmth on the leg, a little bit of warmth from the heated grips. So yeah, I have really, really enjoyed this. I feel like it's an exciting and engaging ride, and I actually don't want to draw comparisons to the Trident because I feel like you should review everything in its own right with its own kind of credentials, but they are quite similar, and I have recently been on that launch, and to me the Trident 800 is more of a mature bike. You know, I feel like that bike kind of rides itself, whereas this really values like rider input, and this keeps you on your toes a little bit more and feels a bit spicier, and I do really value that personally in a bike because yeah, I like a bike to make me feel something, and I feel like Ducatis and Italian machines just make you feel something. And it's actually brilliant that this is built in Italy, so you know, I think there's probably like maybe 5% of parts, if not less, that are outsourced just from a sourcing perspective, just to get hold of bits and bats. Overall, it's been a cracking day. I can't wait to throw myself, to launch myself in the shower because I need to warm up a little bit. But yeah, it's been fantastic. Really, really rate the Ducati Monster. It's a bit of me. I think it's actually fantastic value for what you get. Them stoppers, them Brembos, ooh, they're very, very good. Right, I hope you've enjoyed this kind of unorthodox outro in the torrential rain. But yeah, I'll catch you all on the next vlog. Take care. Bye.